Let's bring in Johannes Leak now to look at the cartoons of the week. And there's plenty of material around this week, Johannes, especially with the lockdown in Melbourne.
That's right. Yeah, it just seems to get more and more ridiculous as the days. It just gets more and more ridiculous as the days progress. But yeah, deeply worrying too. I mean, these poor people up in those towers and people making, bolting for borders and that sort of thing. There's plenty there for cartoonists to work with, that's for sure.
Sure is. Warren Brown at the Daily Telegraph has drawn Daniel Andrews saying just what the doctor ordered, and he's sticking his testing swab up someone's nose and saying, "You look all right to me, go and enjoy New South Wales." That's the view from Sydney. People worried about the virus, of course, travelling north across the border. But I want to go to your cartoon in the Australian Johannes. I thought this was a beautiful perspective, and this was a couple of people in the high-rise tower looking out at Daniel Andrews in his chairman's outfit, KPMG, the consultants, running off with the cash, the health minister and the deputy chief medical officer, they're all running around, and the poor inhabitants of the tower saying, "Any idea what he's saying down there?" And she says, "Don't panic. He sure does look like he's panic-struck."
Well, that's right. Something tells you that they don't quite have things under control down there. So I was going for that sort of the Benny Hill kind of running around in circles sort of vibe. And well, I mean, they're clearly not on top of things down there. And then they're the ones telling these poor people that they need to settle down and calm down up there. So yeah.
Yeah, there's another great take on this episode, I think, from Fiona Katauskas, a cartoon she's done for the Eureka Street magazine. I love this one because she's got the sign there saying we're all in this together, which is what politicians tell us all the time. But with these towers having been locked down the way they were, it looks like Daniel Andrews, he's scratched out the "we're" and he's saying, "You're all in this together." And can anybody get this translated? I think that's a very pointed cartoon, isn't it, Johannes? Because it seemed like these poor people locked in those towers were asked to carry a pretty heavy burden.
Yeah, most definitely. And just the way that they've been singled out in this way, it seems sort of it's like pointing the finger and saying these 9 blocks. We're going to treat these people completely differently to everybody else in the surrounding suburbs. And, visually and emotionally, I think that really struck a chord with a lot of people. A lot of people found that very, very uncomfortable to watch and to see. So, yeah, no, Fiona's cartoon nails that, I think.
I want to finish up on a couple more of your cartoons, Johannes. One of them is you've got ScoMo at the bedside with the national economy effectively in critical care and saying, "But I was on the road to recovery." And ScoMo says, "Nope, we're all Melburnians now," just highlighting the economic damage to the whole country that this crisis has started. But also, finally, I want to show you this one from earlier in the week where you've had a look at the China situation. And this is with the travel advisory to Australia. This is just a delightful cartoon with you've got the Aussie in Beijing. "This arrest feels just a little bit arbitrary," says the person being arrested. And the Chinese soldier says, "What are you on about? You're an Australian, aren't you?" And this just goes from bad to worse, Johannes, this situation.
Absolutely, yes. There's nothing arbitrary about it, that's for sure. But yeah, again, this situation just escalates by the day. And the pattern has established itself. Now we've got, the Hong Kong situation with Scott Morrison sort of standing his ground, and the Chinese the Chinese Communist Party getting extremely hot under the collar about some of those developments. So it's just everywhere you look at the moment, the relationship between the two countries is sort of it just hits rock bottom and then goes even further down the next day, yeah.
Plenty more cartoon opportunities to come, no doubt. Thanks for joining us again, Johannes. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks, mate.